Imagine an entire street where all the cars have been parked for decades. None of them move, not even an inch. Yet, their owners swear they use the vehicles every day. For the residents of the neighborhood, this has become normal, but for anyone passing by, the sense that something is very wrong is undeniable. After all, how can cars sit in the same spot for so long, yet seem impeccably maintained? This is the mystery that has been puzzling everyone who hears about this strange story. But before we dive deeper into this unbelievable story, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of our mysterious content. And if you've ever experienced something unexplainable or know someone who has, share your story in the comments. We're excited to hear from you. The story begins with Marcelo, a curious journalist who heard about this strange street while chatting with friends. They mentioned, casually, that there was a street where the cars never moved, yet no one seemed to notice. Intrigued, Marcelo decided to investigate. The idea of an entire street full of cars that hadn't been moved in decades, while their owners claimed to use them, seemed too absurd to be true. But when he arrived at the location, Marcelo realized something really strange was happening. It was an ordinary street in a quiet residential neighborhood. The houses, well-maintained, lined both sides of the road, but what caught Marcelo's attention were the cars. All the vehicles looked old, models from the 70s to the 90s, and, surprisingly, they were in excellent condition. No dust, no visible wear. They sat there, parked side by side, perfectly intact. Marcelo decided to speak with some of the residents, and the response was always the same: they used their cars every day. Some even claimed they had driven them that very morning. But if so, why didn't the cars ever move? How could they be so pristine without ever being driven for so long? It was as if the street was stuck in some kind of time bubble, where the cars remained frozen while their owners went about their normal lives. The first clue that something was truly wrong happened when Marcelo began taking pictures of the cars. He noticed that, even as days passed, the photos always looked identical. The positioning of the cars, the angle, even the shadows, everything was exactly the same. This made no sense. It was as if time simply didn't pass on that street. And even stranger, when he tried to photograph the residents near the cars, the pictures came out blurry, almost as if something was interfering with the images. As the mystery grew more unsettling, Marcelo decided to dig deeper. He began observing the street at different times, hoping to catch a resident driving their car. Days and nights went by, but the cars never moved. They remained motionless, like statues, and the residents continued insisting that they used them every day. Marcelo couldn't make sense of what was happening. It was as if an invisible force was controlling reality on that street, keeping the cars parked forever. As his investigation continued, Marcelo started questioning his own sanity. Why didn't anyone else seem to find this strange? Was he becoming obsessed with something that had no explanation? But the facts were undeniable: the cars didn't move, and the residents were recounting an impossible story. He felt trapped in an endless cycle of unanswered questions, as if he were being drawn into a puzzle that could never be solved. One day, Marcelo made a bold decision. He returned to the street in the middle of the night, hoping to find something different, something no one else had noticed. It was the only time the street was completely empty. He approached one of the cars and tried to open the door, hoping to find a clue inside. To his surprise, the door opened easily. The interior was perfectly preserved, as if the car had been manufactured the week before. The new car smell still lingered in the air. However, as he examined the car, something very strange happened. Marcelo heard a sound, like a faint buzzing coming from all directions. When he looked outside, he realized all the lights in the houses had suddenly turned off. The street, once illuminated by streetlights, was now plunged into complete darkness. A chill ran down his spine, and he felt as though he wasn't alone. Something was watching him. With his heart racing, Marcelo left the car and quickly fled the street. The feeling of being watched stayed with him for days, and he began to notice that the photos he had taken of the street mysteriously started disappearing from his camera. It was as if the mystery itself was trying to erase its tracks. Marcelo was never able to explain what he saw that night, and the mystery of the cars that never left the garage remains unsolved. To this day, the residents continue to claim they use their cars every day, and the vehicles remain parked in the same spot, immaculate, as if time has no power over them. No one knows what is really happening on that street, but one thing is certain: something very strange is going on. Something that defies the laws of reality. And what do you think is behind this mystery? How is it possible that cars remain parked for decades while their owners claim to use them every day? Leave your theory in the comments, and don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. Maybe someone out there has an explanation for the mystery that Marcelo was never able to solve.